But Xbox kicked off their showcase with Starfield. We kind of expected that. An alpha trailer, I think they said it was. There's some cool little Easter eggs in there. There was a map of what was shown in the, I guess, the Elder Scrolls 6 thing. Some people were pointing out that one of the scratches on the dashboard looked like an Elder Scrolls 6 map or whatever. But Starfield was shown. It looks, it seems like Bethesda in space.
Cinematic trailer.
Right? Yeah.
It's
I don't know. Yeah, I like that there's a release date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
I
further
want to
off
see
than
how the game plays.
Yeah, it's further off than I think we initially thought, although I know Jason Schreier's been saying it's been coming next fall. So
yeah, he's been syndrome for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw my disclaimer out right now. Everything that just had that was not a gameplay trailer or whatnot, like I'm taking it off a grain of salt. Like it's kind of the way I am because I've been disappointed way too many times behind a movie trailer for a game. And then it's not what we get. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that spoiler out there now for my sake.
I can't wait till we talk about the Outer Worlds 2 trailer.
Laurent, I will agree with you on that. I think that this one's a little bit different because it is in-game in engine. Yeah. That is different than your typical CG trailer. That gives you an idea of what they're at least aiming for, and not just like it's not a Killzone 2 situation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with Starfield, I'm not necessarily writing it off, right. but
no, I know you're not. I'm putting that out just like I kind of as a general disclaimer.
Yeah,
like, there's a difference when it says it's in engine and in game footage as opposed to completely conceptual, like Soy said, like the Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So or like what we got at the end with Redfall, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep trying to call it Red Dawn, and then I remember Patrick Swayze isn't in this.
Yeah.
They're probably not so.
Redfall would make me more skeptical just because we don't know anything about that game. Like, at least we understand that Starfield should play like an Elder Scrolls or a Fallout. Yeah. But Redfalls, it's like, up until Corey said open world sim with, you could play co-op. It's like, that shocks me.
Yeah, I had expected that to play more like, because what I had been hearing was that it was going to be a vampire game, but along the lines of how Dishonored games are structured.
Yeah.
Okay. Like this took me completely by surprise, and I don't think it was just because of that, but I'm kind of like Laurent. Like I'm really cautious about games that are CG only, especially like that where we have no indication of where the story is going, the gameplay, or anything, and yet it was still a 5-minute trailer. I think it was bizarre to do one that long, and it was really weird that you chose a 5-minute cinematic trailer to end your show on. If you knew you were going to end on CG, why would you not just have Starfield as your final thing?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would have been
that
funny.
One is the more anticipated one.
I think
as opposed to like something way out of left field.
I think it would have been funnier to open with Outer Worlds and end with Starfield because
I think that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been,
Or you end with that Outer Worlds title, like because when that first started airing, I was in a call with our friend Ray, and he was like, oh my god, is this Fable? And he's like, I thought this wasn't gonna be here, and then he starts hearing the narration. He goes, oh no, and he like immediately he goes, this is fucking Outer Worlds, isn't it? And we're just both dying laughing for the rest of the trailer. Yeah. It is the most self-aware thing I've ever seen at an E3 conference. And I love it. Like, it's them making fun of themselves. Like Phil Spencer said a couple weeks ago, we want to have a focus on gameplay and not on CG as much as we have in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, largely outside of, like, your one more thing being a 5-minute freaking trailer, you pretty much delivered on that.
Mm-hmm. Which I enjoyed the shit out of that trailer. Like, I liked the story, like the character building. The characters seem amazing. Like, that's the thing. I think the reason that I didn't have a problem with that, and I think they could get away with it.
Are we talking about Redfall?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is like the characters. If the characters are at least what's going to be in the game, and it's going to be more like Borderlands, like kind of, like game where there's a lot of humor and you've got these characters that we got to see 5 minutes of and like what their characters are like if that's still in the game and it's like whatever the game is, I don't care. I did like getting a look at like some characters, and if as long as those characters and that like humor and stuff is brought forward into the game, like I'm perfectly fine with what I've seen. So
I definitely got Borderlands vibes out of that.
Yeah, so it's like Borderlands but better in my opinion, because I like the humor in Borderlands. Like I liked the first one. After that, I dropped off of the face of the earth for me. So,
but yeah, so let's go back to Starfield for a minute. It's still like I appreciate that they showed like the alpha footage and stuff, but like, are we just assuming that it's going to be Fallout in space, or do you guys think it's really going to be something different?
Todd Howard made some comments today. An interview with him came out about it. I believe it's getting published tomorrow, but excerpts from it were published today, and he says he's hesitant to describe it as Skyrim in space because he feels like that doesn't do the game justice. But at the same time, that's a really like easy way to describe it to draw in like more hesitant gamers. Mm-hmm. I think. He says he feels like, the exploration in this is something they haven't done before. Like, they're establishing a world with a ton of lore in it, like they do with Elder Scrolls, and like they've gone on to go do with with Fallout. It's set, like, in our timeline 300 years from now. Like, those are all compelling things, I think. Mm-hmm. And, I think that, y'all hit it on the head earlier. We need to see some gameplay of this. And we're probably not going to see that gameplay. At the absolute earliest, you might get a gameplay demo if they do a 20th anniversary event this fall. Other than that, you're not getting anything until E3 next year because that's how Todd Howard works.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not expecting anything gameplay-wise until E3 2022.
And that's good. I'd rather you sit down and work on this.
I could see some gameplay trailers.
I think you've got to sit down and just work on this.
Yeah.
You can't have another Fallout 76 situation. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this is the first, like, big game out of this acquisition. Like, yeah, Deathloop's coming out. Yeah, Ghostwire. Like, this is why they bought Bethesda, though.
Plus,
it's for those marquee titles.
Plus, it seems like the first big game that's only for Series X, right, and PC, right? Because there's no Xbox One version they confirmed, right?
Nothing that they announced that's coming out in 2022 that is from Microsoft is an Xbox One game. Nothing.
Yeah.
As of right now, Halo Infinite is the last Xbox One game, and I expect it to stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Forza Horizon 5 is
Forza. Yeah.
Well, I'm banking on Forza. Like, so on the if you look at the release schedule, like I'm saying, like right now they have Halo projected past that for
right. Forza will probably be what, end of September, October-ish, probably, right?
It's November 9th.
November 9th.
They said,
Did they? Oh, they did say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was like, when I was watching it, I know it was a 90-minute show, but I probably watched the whole thing in like 40 minutes because I was like,
No, you're good.
It was a day. It was a day, guys. But
I got press releases pulled up. We're good.
Thanks,
We're good.
Josh. I'm really leaning on everybody else for this. To be honest with you,
we'll help you.
I was like, I sent Josh the show notes earlier. I was like, I kind of want to do something a little bit different tonight because there's so much that was announced today.
Yeah,
and I was like, should we just go over like the 10 or 12 big games and then checklist the rest of them? And if anybody has anything to say, we'll just do it that way. He's like, yeah. I was like, sorry, dude. I still got to watch him. He's like, don't worry. I took novel-sized notes. So
I was surprised I could talk 20 minutes about Yakuza.
No.
Yakuza's on Game Pass. Go play it. Next.
I'm excited. I was really intrigued. I'm always intrigued by what Bethesda has to show, even though I'm not the biggest Bethesda fan. So I'm interested to see what Starfield has to offer in the future for sure.
On the topic of Bethesda, obviously they just announced I think most of their backlog back to 360 and PS3 is going to be up for Game Pass.
Yeah, and there's even weird games on PC Game Pass like Fallout Tactics and some of their other obscure games that nobody really remembers. So
on the subject of those games, Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics, as well as I think the very first Bethesda game ever, like Ark, whatever it is, Ark Escape or something. I don't know what it's called. What do you think the odds are of them re-releasing those games for the first time ever on a console?
I mean, that would make sense,
next
right?
year.
As like some sort of,
because you're not getting Fallout 5 for like a decade at the rate they're going. So why not just put them out? Like, if you're going to unify everything, at least make them available like via cloud or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think those games would run well on console? Like Diablo 2 could barely run, and that's why they're working on that from the ground up. Almost.
I mean, so Bethesda has 4 studios right now, and 2 of them are basically doing fuck all.
Yeah.
One of them's a mobile studio, but they already have another mobile division in Alpha Dog.
Oh, Fallout Mobile's not working out anymore, huh?
Fallout Mobile's doing great. It's Elder Scrolls Blades that's killing them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about
that. And then there's a studio right here in Dallas that only does VR, and we all know how Microsoft feels about VR. So
how do they feel about VR,
retool one of those to be a support studio.
Yeah. One of the cool things they mentioned about that Bethesda game on Game Pass was they talked about Doom Eternal finally getting their optimization for the Series X.
Finally,
I've been waiting for to play it.
I expect that you're going to see that with most of these titles, just like you did with the initial back catalog. They did like 5 or 6 titles. Mm-hmm. I expect the Dishonored to get the Wolfensteins like over the course of this year. Like, hey, we got 10 more games for you, and oh, what a surprise! They're all owned by us now.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they mentioned that almost every game that Bethesda released today was going to be getting some sort of like 4K 60 frames up to 120. I think Doom Eternal is getting 120 frames.
Doom is the one they specifically mentioned as 120.
Yeah. And I know they already mentioned Wolfenstein 2 is getting a Series X optimization patch at some point also. Mm-hmm. Not today, but they mentioned it at some point.
Yeah. That's why Microsoft is killing it. Like they're just like they're updating all these games with just a simple patch, Yeah. PlayStation's like,
we got Ratchet.
You want this game? You gotta go and buy it from a scalper.
Believe in
they do have better exclusives right now. So.
Yeah, but they're coming to PS4.
Which is a good thing.
Anyways,
I should have gotten rid of my PlayStation. That's
that's your stupid fault.
I know it is. I bought a Series X with that money. Okay.